is your boy, Freelancer Joe, ready to once again get cracking. And how are you all? Wonderful start. How are you all doing on this fine and glorious and wonderful Thursday afternoon? And as I'm sure, and I have no doubt that you all have religiously followed all my episodes, you know how much Freelancer Joe loves him some Thursdays, because it feels like Friday, and Freelancer Joe loves him some Fridays. Although, to be honest, it really doesn't quite feel like the normal Thursday pre-Friday, because, let's see, only one more day at my current project, and then I transfer over to a new one. And so, let's see, today was spent doing most of, well, some paperwork and signing things and blah, 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 blah. And partial clean out of the office, and tomorrow is going to be more paperwork and the rest of the clean out of the office. And ideally, again, I would rest the entire weekend, but as I mentioned before, I got a whole bunch of things, so and maybe that's why it doesn't feel like the normal Thursday, because I don't think it's going to be a really restful weekend. But we'll see. Who knows? But that's just me being negative. And you don't come here for negativity. I'm not sure why you come here, but I do appreciate that you do bother to come here. You came here for my witty banter, my charisma, and I think that's all I got to sell. Well, obviously all of this jackness. And yes, I did finish to work out my normal routine, although I will admit it's a little questionable now how much forward progress I can make on. Today was the bench press, and I was up to 5 sets of 3 repetitions. Last week was 5 sets of 2. Week before that was 5 sets of 2. So I figured it was time to bump it up a rep. But yeah, I want to say by the second set, that number 3 was dodgy. Very, very dodgy. Yeah. What I'm really hoping for is that it's simply my body making the adjustment from a set of 2 to a set of 3, and then in conjunction with what? Oh yeah, because I'm being more restrained on my dietary intake. I do not want to do that. That is slightly lower energy. So that's me being positive, as opposed to me being negative about what I think is going to happen this weekend. Well, I mean, I'll enjoy myself this weekend, but I don't think it's what I really should optimally be doing. But it be what it be. Okay, so that's lined up. Bueno. And we were working with the a little slow today. We were working with the demo, so I am wondering, well, I think I've mentioned this before, whether or not I really should go ahead and bring all of this up before I start recording. Is it start? Yeah, it's start. Nah, it gives me time to chat and catch up with y'all. That southern twang. It's very charming. I mean, sure, English as in the Great Britain is sophisticated, and French is suave. Spanish can be rico. But yeah, there's something wholesome about that southern twang. Well, I suppose like any language, it really depends on what's being said, so, yeah. Not that I've spent much time in the Deep South. About a year in North Kakalaki. About a year in Texas. Though Texans will probably be the very first to tell you that there is a distinct difference between the Texas drawl and the Southern twang. And they're probably right, but I'm not a linguist. Da, 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 da. Da, 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 da. And of course, you know, there are parts of Texas where the Texas drawl is frowned upon. I'm thinking certain metropolitan areas full of hipsters and the like. Uh, uh, very slow. Did I do any work off camera? No, I didn't do any work off camera related to this. I'm still playing around more with some Vue stuff off camera, Vue.js. I think I'm getting sort of closer to understanding, but not entirely. I think I'm at the point where I understand how to use the template, but not necessarily how to manipulate the virtual DOM. And there's that, and then there's still the whole routing aspect of it I have to go through, but that seems kind of straightforward. And then the big part is actually maintaining state. And that's going to be interesting. That was actually what took me the longest time picking up the React Redux combination, is figuring out what was React and what was actually Redux. Although, in my defense, I was being lazy. It's not much of a defense, is it? And not looking at a tutorial, I was just looking at code. Alright, so calendar. Ooh. Oh, what was I thinking? There we go. Okay, so number one, what I was thinking was adding a loading indicator. When it's actually loading. Two, let me see, next. Yeah, I really should add a loading indicator. But let me see, I think what the big problem I had before right now was simply that I am hard coding this value right here. So what I really want to do is get the current date. It's always kind of a tricky proposition. Dates are... Okay, so there are two ways I could do it. One, if I pass in an empty value to the lambda can go ahead and just default. But I went through a lot of hassle adding in parameter checking to the lambda to check that there is a value and that it's a valid value. So I'm not going to undo all that. So then the other option... Oh, okay, right. So if we look at the lifecycle, component will mount. This happens after the initial render. What does that mean? That means that the calendar is already up. Crud. So the question is, can I use the ref to calendar to actually get the date that's in it at the time that the component does mount? Now, it seems to make sense to me, at least as I say it, that I should be able to do that. But I think there was a reason why I didn't use ref, and why I used... Okay, so if I do this.calendarref.date, now it's controlled by that. Is there a getter? Alright, I can do get now. And that hopefully will give me the date. So what we're going to do, rather than work through all that assumption, we're just going to do this dot calendar ref dot get now. At now. Again, that G. I don't think it's the keyboard's fault. So let's see what? Did it compile? It's compiling. The question is, will it give me the date in microseconds? Then do I have to do a get month on that value? I think I can do a get month on that value. Because it's a date. Didn't compile. So my guess is calendar ref was null. It's a guess, but yeah, this dot calendar ref dot get now. It's not a function. It says it's a function. That's interesting. Is my understanding of this thing not correct? Alright, let's see what the calendar ref is. I could just be using the refs wrong, but I thought I got it working right. I thought I was using it correctly. I was certain I was. But oh yeah, so as part of my upcoming busy weekend, which kind of throws everything off, in addition to having to start the new project. So Friday is normally the diet cheat day, but because I will be recording in my super secret location, that means my cheat day should be pushed to Saturday. All it's got is current. Oh, current. Here we go. Current? What the heck is current? So, do I have to do current dot props dot get now? Well, let's see. I'm almost certain it would be simpler just to go ahead and create the date. Dot current dot props dot get now. But the thing is, I have the localizer already attached to the calendar. So yeah, I don't want to mess around with that localization thing because as you saw in the documentation for the calendar itself, it said that localization's hard. This calendar ref current is null. That said current before, right? Pretty certain I said okay. Alright, so it didn't like current. Am I using this reference incorrectly? React create ref. How to use React create ref? Yada yada yada. Blah 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 blah. Grass in the DOM. Create string refs, that's the legacy method. I'm not supposed to do that anymore. Callback refs, React create ref, this is the new way. This is what I want to use. Ugh. You know how I feel about arrow functions, so we're not going to use the callback way. I simply create a ref and assign the resulting ref to an element. Alright. So we have this.input field equals create ref. I call it calendar ref. And on the input field, it says ref this.input. Oh yeah, see? This.input field.current. What were you complaining about? You're complaining about current? This.calendarref.current is null. Oh, maybe it's did mount. Maybe it's did mount. That's funny. I could have sworn that will mount was. Did I mess up my life cycles? It's possible I messed up my life cycles. That's kind of interesting. Have I been using the wrong comment for all this time? We're looking for calendar view. Did mount. Yeah, there we go. There's the date. Did mount. Okay. Wait, I'm double checking the life cycle because. Render. Did mount. Did mount is invoked immediately after a component is mounted. Okay. So that's why it worked, but why did will mount not work? Oh, it's a legacy lifecycle. They changed the life cycles. And it's invoked just before mounting occurs. Huh. I must be using outdated terminology. Oh boy, that means I might have to go back and update everything. Alright, so we've got current prompts get now. What we actually want is... Oh, you know what? I bet you we can just pass this entire thing, since the index already does the value. So instead of passing null, we're going to pass this. And in the index, we're going to default the value. Whoops. Yes, we're going to default the value to -1, which we know will not work because we do error checking. You don't need this. Fix that. And let's see if that works. Okay, no, it did not. No, that's fine. The above error occurred. Oh, looks like my snack bar is not working again either. Oh, alright, here we go. Okay, so it passed -1, which is not good. It should have passed a value. Oh wait, that's alpha. Let's try that again. I need to reset the routes. Alright. Okay, no, we still got the error. Stack trace error because we passed it -1. So one thing that's an error is date is data date. Oh wait a minute, did I not instantiate that correct? Debounce. Ah, I needed to create a filter object, that's why. But this also goes to show that I still have a problem with the snack bar. I thought the snack bar was working. Oh, when I mucked around with the reducer. That's why the snack bar isn't working anymore. Alright, that should probably work better now. Okay, that's up. Does it make the request for this month? Manual event. Mom's birthday. What value did it send in? Calendar event lookup with data 10. Let me see the print. Calendar event proxy indexes 10. All right. So now the question is, why didn't the error show up? So I guess I'm going to address that before I take a look at the time, little loading icon. And it's not an icon. It's, well, I mean, it is an icon, but okay. So we don't need this. We don't need this. That's fine. So what happens? Throw new error, throw new error, throw new error. And when you get an error, you should dispatch the message show error. That looks like it should work. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and just force the error to occur again. Now that we know the default date is working correctly. And we're going to dig down through that stack trace, figure out exactly what's going on here. Alright. Failed prop type message supplied to snack bar content wrapper. Expected a React node. That sounds interesting. Snack bar expects a message with a variant. Pretty sure I didn't change that. And when I get an error in index, I should be dispatching error. Oh, okay. So let me see. It's passing an array. This is expecting a string literal. Why would I change that though? That's very unusual. Action.variant. Huh. Well, let's see what the error message is. Oh, yeah, I can see that in here, can't I? Here we go. Dispatching show snack bar with error and an array. Show error. Error code's undefined. File name. What? If error has own property, error message, or the error itself. So the error message I'm throwing does not have a message property. It simply has code, column, file name, line number, stack trace. Well, there's message. That's curious. Very, very curious. Well, let's get it working for now. So instead of doing a specific message, let's just let's just do a hard-coded error message for now. Let's see if that solves it. But then, oh, I don't dispatch the snack bar action if there's a success. Hard-coded error message. I might have to beef up my error handling. So I expect the error. Hard-coded error message. Okay, so that was the error. That's interesting that error is not being set correctly. Let me see if I can squeeze in the fix for that real quick, because we are pushing it close. New error. That looks like I did it. The message was not. Oh. Oh, okay. Alright. It passed these things. It passed these checks. That's what it is. It passed the checks. The response had what did it have? Message? Content? Wait. I'm not seeing receive JSON. Data URL, fetch util, stack trace. Okay. Alright, so it did the fetch util, but fetch util got a 400. And fetch util threw the error. And my manager is not set up correctly to handle the error from the response. Okay, alright. So this error check here is for the correctly formed response. But Feshutal is the one that actually checks to see if it responded at all, or if it responded in a way that was expected. Very subtle difference. Feshutal throwing error on 400. I'm leaving a note now for myself to deal with, well, presumably on Sunday because we are past the 30-minute mark. So I am going to wrap it up for now. Thank you for joining me. I hope you'll join me tomorrow for Games with Joe. And hopefully it'll be a little more engaging than last week's game, Gaming with Joe. Gaming with Joe, not Games with Joe. And that until the next time you join me, that you take care and God bless.